De imediato, vou fazer a apresentação do primeiro convidado que vai estar conosco neste painel, professor irmão Luiz Mihaly, que vem da Universidade La Salle, Beirute, no Líbano. Rapidamente farei uma apresentação do irmão Luiz. Ele é especialista em estudos religiosos, ele tem um mestrado na área de educação, também é conhecedor de literatura francesa, é professor do Collège Notre-Dame-des-Frères, como diretor, é coordenador do programa formativo La Salista para professores no Líbano. Enfim, integra todo o projeto que atualmente La Salle Beirute desenvolve com os imigrantes neste país. De imediato, eu passo a palavra ao irmão Luiz para que faça a sua apresentação.
Thank you, Dr. Miranda, and thank you, Brother Fossati, for the chance you've given to me to share the reality we're living in Lebanon. So I will be talking about my country and the mission the brothers are having with refugees. I will be sharing also a presentation, so you will see it next to the slide. So Lebanon, it's formed from a lot of minorities, of Christian, Muslims minorities, and especially with, so we can see numbers, like 30% of Muslims, Sunni, almost also 30% of Muslims, Shia, and 33% of Christians, and almost 5% of Druze. All of this forms 18 religious sects that are recognized in Lebanon, and this diversity is not something very easy to deal with within the country. So to have an idea about numbers, so in Lebanon, we have almost, like, the population is almost like 6 million, and we have in Lebanon almost 500,000 Palestinian refugees since the year 48. We have almost 150,000 Iraqi refugees and about 1.5 million or 2 million Syrian refugees. And I want to say or to notice that Lebanon is not a signatory of the 1951 Geneva Convention related to the refugee status. So we can talk in Lebanon about refugees. We can talk more. We refer about them as displaced person. So they are not recognized as refugees. And if we want to take the numbers given by the UN Refugee Agency, we can see that in the region, Lebanon has the most refugees per 1,000 people. So Lebanon has the biggest number of refugees since 2018. So almost 1.5 million displaced Syrians came to Lebanon. And at the same time, in 2021, we have 1.25 million vulnerable Lebanese also. So more than the refugees or displaced, we have a lot of Lebanese also suffering from this situation. And since like 1 year from now, the Lebanese pound has lost almost 80% of its value, and it's increasing, as you can see, the rates of poverty between Lebanese and extreme poverty also now. So a lot of almost 50,000 Lebanese households are living in extreme poverty and more. Extreme poverty also is centered, or we can see it especially among the displaced Syrians. So the numbers are increasing, as you can see. So in 2020, you can see a lot of displaced Syrians that are living in extreme poverty. Adding to this, a lot of Syrian refugees are in food insecurity since 2020, so it's a big number also. And a lot of Lebanese households report that adults are reducing consumption in favor of children in the household. Let's add to this that almost 50% of displaced Syrians are living in shelters. So they are living below humanitarian standard, overcrowded, and degrading conditions. I got the chance to visit also some of the shelters. On the educational side, we can see, and the UN tells us that over 1.2 million schools-age children had disrupted education last year, and 40% of school-age Syrian children are out of school. So a lot of children are out of school. As a response of all the situation that started many years ago, we have the Fratelli project. So the Fratelli project came as a response to the needs centered in Lebanon. Fratelli, it's a word in Italian that tells that means brothers in plural. So the Fratelli project started between the La Sallian Institute, the La Salle brothers, and the Marist brothers. They wanted to go beyond borders to explore new lands. And all this inspired by our two founders, the Saint John Baptist de La Salle and Saint Marcelin Champagnat, and the service of the youth. The brothers, when they wanted to start it, they want to get out of the school and to reach the really most vulnerable people and children. Especially in 2015, so almost 6 years ago, after the war in Syria and before that, the war in Iraq, with all the flood of refugees that came into Lebanon and in the region. So the response started, the first establishment was in Lebanon. So if you can see Lebanon, at the small country near Syria, Damascus, occupied Palestine, and it has a lot of refugees, as I said. And the Lebanese school system was unable to absorb all the refugees, all the Syrian refugees. And we had like more than 250,000 children in the school. So it's a big number. So Fratelli, as I said, came as an answer or a solution to help reduce the number of unattended students. So it's a mixed community between La Sallian brothers, Marist brothers, many local volunteers, and many, many more volunteers from all over the world, coming to serve for 1 month to 1 year. And this is the Fratelli project community throughout the years. So we have brothers from Spain, from Chad, from Mexico, and a lot of volunteers from Brazil. We had one from Germany, from Mexico, from Australia, from the UK. So in 2016, Fratelli was recognized as a non-profit association and recognized by the Lebanese law and state. And it has a Lebanese base, of course, but it is helped by Rome. So on the international level, we have on the Marist side, the FMSI, an organization for the volunteers, and the Solidarità Internazionale for the finances and all the money-wise. And we have the International Council, which is formed from two brothers, La Sallian brothers and two Marist brothers in Rome that support the community. So when Fratelli started at the beginning, we had two centers, one in Rmeile, which is south of Beirut, 37 kilometers almost, and the old Marist brothers, which is closed during the war. And it welcomed almost between 700 and 800 children. And it has many programs. We'll talk about the program now. So children are welcomed in the school and the community is based there with the volunteers. And we have another program in Burj Hamoud, which is in the suburb of Beirut, which welcomes around 100 and 200 children, especially from Iraqi background. And Almost all of them, they left Lebanon to other places. An idea about the activities. So in Fratelli, they have many programs for many levels of needs. So they have the kindergarten classes, basic literacy and numeracy, academic support, accelerated learning program, as I said, because Syrians learn in another program. So in order to integrate the Lebanese program, they have to learn in an accelerated way. English and computer classes, games and support, sports club, a lot of sports, meeting points for youth, summer school, summer camps also, and sewing classes for mothers. All of this, almost 4,000 kids benefit from this program till now during the years. The program welcomed almost 35 volunteers. 10 of them stayed for at least 1 year, which is great. And for the future, we hope that Fratelli 2, so another Fratelli project also, will be based on the Venezuela and Colombia border. We hope so. And already in Spain, a lot of communities are taking the name Fratelli to work on the spirit of this program. To know more about the program, of course, you can visit all the platforms on social media or write to this email, fratellilibano@gmail.com, and you can know more about the program. I thank you, and I hope that it was useful. Thank you for the opportunity you gave to me.
Agradeço imensamente a apresentação do irmão Luiz, fantástica experiência sendo realizada atualmente em Beirute, no Líbano. Mais adiante voltaremos com perguntas ao irmão Luiz.